I'm too stressed out to do this right now. This game has got me.
Not in the mood. Not in the mood. Here's the podcast, guys. Hope you hate it.
Check out all of our other podcasts. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wasted Local Talent. I'm Daniel.
And I'm the talent.
Exactly.
Here I am, Josiah.
Josiah, you're going to have to take the lead on this because my blood pressure is like through the roof right now.
All right, so I took the lead on the beginning of the interview this week. And so this is the first podcast that did not start out like every other podcast starts out. I'm bad at memory. So I'm sorry. I listen to every podcast, though. I just didn't remember how to start the podcast.
Maybe it'll be funny. I haven't listened to it yet.
No, I think it's just sadness.
That's just the sadness.
So this is halftime at the Cowboys game that we're recording this. And the Saints are winning. And my fantasy team is beating Daniel's fantasy team. At the moment, things could change.
It's close.
It could change.
Yeah, but the way that the Cowboys offense is playing, you're definitely going to win. So,
well, that's what you get with Dak Prescott as your
half.
What?
No, I heard you.
Yeah.
My blood pressure can't get any higher right now. I'm too just.
Your eyes are actually red.
Yeah. But yeah, this week we had Hannah.
Hannah's Clay Creations.
Yes.
Hannah was great. She had a lot of fun, and she's really excited. She was a fan of the podcast, which that makes one.
Yeah, we got one.
And so we were happy to have her on, and I learned a lot about pottery and claying and
how they throw pottery.
Yeet.
But now it's yeet pottery or yeet.
You yeet clay or yeet
clay.
pots or
yeet pot. Yeet pot. Sure. I don't know. Anyway.
We have other podcasts as well.
We do.
We have D&D Kinda, where Michael and a band of merry idiots go through the land of Gryffindor, I believe.
It's exactly
I stole that joke from Roger. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, well,
Speaking of Roger.
It was funnier whenever you said it, so.
I don't even know what Gryffindor is. Is it?
It's from Harry Potter.
See, I never watched it.
That's right. We were sheltered children.
It sounded cool. Oh, speaking of cool, Gurus of Gaming. Not cool, but I'm on that one. And we talk about video games. We talk about life. In our most recent episode, we got in a fight about whether Michael Cera is good at acting or not. So if you are hot or cold on Michael Cera, tune in because I'm right. Michael Cera is just bad. Ryan Turner thinks Michael Cera is good.
I'll actually completely agree with you. I don't think he's good at all.
Well,
the only thing he's good at is being awkward, but that's just him, and that's not acting. That's just being awkward in front of a camera.
You heard it here, Ryan Turner.
So, and if that's his basis, then I should be an actor. So, maybe
nobody
I'm
wants
better. No.
That you would be in like the sad movies that always end in tragedy.
Yeah.
Okay, I might watch that.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun watching you in real life.
Watching me suffer.
I'm over here watching the football game with you, just ready to get the defibrillator out.
Yeah, I might have a heart attack tonight, so this might be my last podcast, guys. So thanks for all your support.
You hate to see it. We also have Video Game Mythos.
Oh yeah.
Which is just one of the coolest things. If you have not listened to Video Game Mythos, even if you're not a fan of video games, they delve into the lore and story and just all these different details behind the video game. So if you just like good storytelling, those are short, sweet, to the point, and very entertaining.
Yeah.
Are we forgetting anything?
Yeah, worst kept secret, like usual, because they're not that. They're pretty forgettable. Worst kept secret. Thanks for letting us use Bender in all of our episodes. Check them out on iTunes, Spotify, probably anywhere else that you can find music.
Maybe your local Walmart.
Maybe. I doubt it. They don't, if anything, it's going to be Bender. I mean, it's got to be Bender.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, check them out. Just search for Worst Kept Secret even on Facebook, Instagram, all that. Also, check us out on Facebook at Wasted Local Talent, Instagram, Wasted Local Talent. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. I'll remember tomorrow whenever I'm editing this and be like, well, forgot that. I guess we'll talk about it next time. But
yeah, I mean, last week we totally did the intro.
We didn't. We never did the intro for it. I remember sitting here and being like, hey.
We have to do the intro before we leave.
And we didn't.
And then he texted me Thursday morning and said, shoot.
And I was going to record it at my house because I couldn't make it up here to the studio. And I had taken my mic cables to the show.
Oh, yeah.
And they're over at Jake's. And I had a microphone and an interface and nothing to attach either to the other one.
Which was a very successful show. If you guys missed After Atlas, you missed After Atlas.
You didn't miss much.
No, you missed a lot. And I'm Daniel's biggest critic. And he did really well. And it was a lot of fun. And the Mountaineers won that day. I ate some Buffalo Wild Wings.
And we played Country Roads horribly.
You know what? I disagree. I had a lot of fun singing Country Roads.
You know, I'd played that song like twice before, ever in my entire life.
What about the song that your bass player,
Jake
didn't know any of the words, but you guys played that whole song, and he just da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yep.
It was more entertaining than if he actually did know the words.
During practice, he was singing it like backwards. He would get the lines like reversed. So he would sing "Take Me Home, Country Roads, to the place where I was born," and he would just make up the words. Up. It was hilarious. His mom came out to watch us practice, and she was making fun of him too, which I thought was pretty funny.
Oh man, you hate to see it. If your mom is making fun of you, then who's cheering for you?
Yeah.
Hannah's parents are big supporters of her.
Yes, they are.
She's on our podcast this week.
Yeah, so we should get into that
before Daniel just falls over into...
Well, the longer we talk, the longer I don't have to sit through halftime, and I can go right back to the just crippling depression and anxiety this game is causing me.
They're showing Nick Chubb's 88-yard touchdown run here. He got 21.95 miles per hour and 15 points for me on that play. That's all. No, we're watching.
Yeah,
we're watching.
I'm done.
All right.
I bet you that guy got you 400 points too, didn't he?
Here's Hannah. Hello, this is Wasted Local Talent. Today we're wasting our talent with
Hannah from Hannah's Clay Creations.
And, oh yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Josiah.
I'm Ashley.
Yeah, see, if you can't tell.
This is the first time Josiah and I have done this without Daniel or Jed. So the babies are taking flight today.
Yes, we are. Hannah, welcome.
Thank you.
I think you're the first ever person to describe yourself as a Wasted Local Talent fangirl.
Yes, I...
Oh, yeah.
Really? I was the first one?
Yeah, which excited me because I was like, oh my gosh, we have fans. And
Just one.
Just one.
Just one. Yeah, that's all you need.
A fanatic, a true fan.
Yes.
But it's cool because I'm also a fan of yours.
Aw, thanks.
So I've been following you for a while, and I love your stuff. That's the only reason I signed on today. It wasn't because I wanted to do the podcast. I just wanted to see what she was going to bring. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and I have a mug.
She
so
brought
by
a mug with, that she made herself.
And it's beautiful.
Thank you.
She said she measured it to specifically fit her cup holder in her vehicle.
Did you really?
Yes, I have a 2002 Honda Accord, and I take a little tape measure, and I measured it exactly so my cup would fit.
That's
in my car.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, how did you get into doing pottery? Like, when did this start?
It happened really randomly. I was scheduling classes my freshman year, second semester, and I'm one of those crazy people who will stay up till midnight to schedule just because I want to get the exact classes I needed. Mm-hmm. And I saw that there was one pottery class open, one more spot, and it always fascinated me, so I took the class. And within 2 weeks, I changed it to my major.
Yeah. Did you go to Fairmont or WV?
Yeah, I went to Fairmont State. Yeah.
Okay. Your stuff's beautiful. Hannah and I think you follow me too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been following each other on Instagram for a while. She follows my jewelry and I follow her stuff. You and Lockhouse Studios are my two favorite pottery makers.
Thank
both
you.
of you just have such a unique style.
And I love her too. Her work is amazing.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Oh yeah, every craft show I go to, I always go to her booth and creep on her.
Yeah, we've done the Handcrafted Cooperative.
Yeah,
together,
are you
right?
doing the one in November?
No, I did this past one where you were there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I never get a chance to walk around and look at anything. But yeah, I'm not going to do this coming one.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Tell me about your setup. I'm really interested. When we did Ashley's episode, she has a whole mad scientist setup.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you build a pottery studio? Like, where did you, like you said that you changed your whole major, like you loved it, but
Yeah.
what was step one into, all right, now this is, I got to get stuff together?
Yeah, my studio right now is very humble. I have really supportive parents, and they said, once you graduate, you can convert our basement into a pottery studio, which was awesome. So I got to get the sledgehammer and take down one of their cement showers they had downstairs and paint walls and paint the floor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but during college, my whole career in college, I knew that I wanted to build a studio afterwards. So I got a job, and I did commissions, and I saved up every penny I had. And whenever I graduated, I was able to purchase myself a wheel, and I was donated a kiln.
Oh, awesome. Because
Yeah.
those are really super expensive.
Dude, they so are. I got a new kiln this past year, and it is so expensive, but I know it's going to last me for like 10
Yeah,
years or
yeah.
something, so it was a good investment. But my first kiln was only an 18-inch kiln, so I was firing like multiple times a week, which was very stressful, trying to get things dry and prepared enough to actually have a full kiln load.
Right.
Because I had craft shows, and when I first graduated, I had this mindset of say yes to everything. So I was doing every craft show I could, every show.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, and
Just to
anyone-
get your name out there.
Yeah, and anyone who's like, oh, do you want to have stuff in our shop? I said, of course. But then that's like,
And then you're killing yourself trying to get ready for everything.
yeah, especially my first year in business, I did multiple 12, 14-hour days, and my fingers turned blue, and I didn't see the sun or see people. So it was very hard at the beginning, but gradually I've gotten more balance within the business.
How long have you been doing it? When did you graduate?
I graduated May of 2017, and then I was building and getting stuff ready for the studio, and I officially launched my business, meaning I got my business license and started paying taxes May of 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been about 2 years. Yeah.
So tell me more about this process, because I'm really interested. I know very little about pottery making.
Mm-hmm.
I know what a kiln is, and it's basically a pizza oven for clay. In my head, that's the way I would describe it. But it's
Yeah.
not. But so this mug that you have, for example, start to finish, how long did it take you to make?
It takes about 3 weeks from start to finish, but you're doing multiple pieces at once, so it's you're doing a batch of 30 in 3 weeks or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so measurements is something that I didn't even think about until you mentioned it. Like you custom make based off of measurements and specifications. I just thought art was art.
And ounces are a big thing too, because people don't want to buy a mug unless it's between 10 to 12 ounces.
Yep.
And with ceramics, my clay body strength's 13%. So whenever I'm throwing it, I have to add that 13% to make sure whenever it shrinks, it'll actually fit coffee properly. And I use, for my travel mugs, I buy lids manufactured. And so I had to make the mug 13% bigger so then I could put the lid on it afterwards.
So there's a lot of thought that goes into this. It's not just haphazardly making things and throwing them in a kiln.
I mean, some people, their techniques and processes are different, but I'm very, intense about...
Precise.
Yeah, very precise about everything. So I like to make sure I know what sizes are going to be once they're finished.
I love that because my husband and I collect coffee cups. That's our thing.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a whole wall of coffee cups. And we're always really careful because when we first started buying each other these coffee cups and collecting them, we kept accidentally buying them that were 15 ounces, and they're huge. And you can't drink coffee out of one of those because it gets cold.
Yeah.
And so we're really careful to make sure we watch how many ounces the coffee cups are now. So I love that you put so much thought into getting a good size on your coffee cups. Mm-hmm. I wish you guys really need to look at her Instagram at how beautiful her work is, because I wish we could
scroll through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish we could show how cool they are, because so much pottery is just it all looks the same, and yours just stands out so much.
Yeah, that was really intentional because in West Virginia, it's very much like an Appalachian style pottery where it's blues and reds and
Yes.
browns and looks very mountain made. And I love that style, of
Oh,
course.
I do too,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's beautiful, but I wanted to make myself seem different in the market, especially in this area. So I played a lot with hand decoration and color and very bubbly forms.
Yeah, I love it.
That's something that I did notice when I was scrolling through, that the colors, your Instagram popped with all kinds of
Yeah.
different colors. I thought that was pretty cool. I can't even think how frustrated I would be if I went through a 3-week process to make a coffee cup and the lid didn't fit properly. How many times did you run into that during trial and error?
Oh, hundreds. I mean, like, you go through so many mistakes throughout the process, and like in the kiln, things can explode.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, if there's like water still in the clay pot, you got to make sure it's bone dry before you put it in the kiln, because whenever it starts boiling, the water will boil out and then it'll just make it explode in the kiln. So there were times where I opened up the kiln and there was just like, looks like sand on the bottom. And you're just like, oh, there goes 3 weeks of my life.
That sucks.
Yeah, but so luckily now that I've done this process so many times, my success rate is higher. But at the very beginning, I was just opening up the kiln, and there were things that were bubbled and flaking off and just not sellable.
Yeah.
And that's the worst.
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah, there really is.
I get upset when my frozen pizza burns in the oven after 20 minutes. 3 weeks. Gosh.
Yeah, I know how frustrating it is to like spend a long time working on one thing.
Oh, yeah, because your
just to
process
watch
is very
it.
intensive, too.
Yeah, it's like almost a week for each piece.
Yeah.
And that's when I pull something out of the bath and the copper, like, I don't get it clean enough before I get the copper onto it. The copper will pull off and flake off. And so, like, I've got all this week's worth of work into one piece, and then I pull it out and the copper falls off, and I have to start all over again.
Yeah, and it could be like a stupid mistake.
Uh-huh.
Like for my ceramics, the color that, like the main portion of the color, I dye the clay body that color because I think it's fun to throw pink clay and stuff. But if I get the percentages wrong, or if I don't add the right stain or add the right amount of clay, it will come out of the kiln a completely different color. And while you're making it, it all looks white, and then the color shows up at the very end. So you don't know if it actually turned out until you open up that kiln and see if it was like what you wanted.
Color it before you put it in the kiln.
Yeah, so traditional pottery, you make the piece and then you fire it in a bisque fire, and then you take it out and then you dip it in a glaze and then you fire it again, and that's your piece. So for what I do is I mix my clay myself. It comes in a dry powder, and I add water and I add stain and I let it dry out for about a week. And then once it becomes moldable, I can throw it and trim it, and then so then the piece is already like pink or blue, whatever color it is, and then I paint on the bellies, the scallop part, and then hand pipe the raised slip. And then I fire it, the bisque fire, take it out, dip it in a clear glaze, and then fire it again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a different process than traditional ceramics, but it allowed me to get the color that I wanted that is very saturated.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, because I've seen videos of people. I've never actually, I don't think, watched anybody do it. I always tell my husband I want to do it because I'm like, it'll be sexy, like on Ghost.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, yeah, I don't think that's
Okay,
how that
can I
would
just
go.
say, like, that scene in that movie, like, I never watched the movie, but that scene really frustrated me because she is making this pot and it looks great, and he comes up behind her and they ruin it. Like, him helping, like, helping her.
You're like,
ruins
no.
I'm like, she is an independent woman, and that is a really great pot she's throwing, and you ruined it. Kiss her afterwards. Like, come on.
Yeah, my husband's always like, I don't think it's going to be like you think it's going to be. Like, if we
No.
would try to make pottery together. I'm like,
And
yeah, it would definitely
And that's not
be
how
like
you
Ghost.
teach someone. Like, my, like, professors didn't, like, come over my arms.
Come
and, like,
behind you.
Yeah, like, I'm like, get away from me. No, that's not how you teach someone.
I feel like it would be weird if that's how you were taught in school.
I would be disappointed if someone didn't wrap their arms around me, just based on what I know.
If it was Patrick Swayze, I wouldn't have argued.
Well, you know,
You know,
I don't
you
know
wanted
about,
Josiah.
I don't know a lot about pots, but I do know a little bit about Patrick Swayze.
Same thing. It's fine. It's all related.
The pot might not turn out okay, but I don't think I'll care by then.
Yeah.
So, you talked about experimenting. What is something that you're experimenting with right now?
Right now, I am trying to do a line of dinnerware. So like
Ooh.
like big dinner plates and dessert plates. And I've had a few come out of the kiln, but they are so finicky to where they'll just start warping and like crack and be crooked. But right now, like in between my regular production, I have been spending a lot of time trying to make plates, and so I can make full like dinnerware sets. Like that's like my big like 1 year dream is to have like a full dining room set just full
Like
of
a whole
my pots.
line of.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's like really what I want to go to is because I do consider myself a ceramic artist, but I also consider myself to be a designer. And whenever,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like whenever I'm waiting at a restaurant, if I have like a receipt or something, I'm just always sketching like teapots and vases and how like I can make different designs. So someday I would like to try to figure out a way to make it, quote, mass produced, but still handcrafted,
Right.
but like bring more people in. So like to provide jobs, and it's not just me alone in the studio. So right now my focus really is on dinnerware, because I feel like that's going to be the next step.
So what else is everything that you make?
So
Because I'm sure, I know it's a lot.
yeah, so my normal production line is like mugs, and they go in different varieties of designs, and then bud vases, which are just for like tiny flowers. Like the idea is for those to be like on a desk or just for gift giving. Like they're less expensive. Like if you still want a piece of pottery but you can't invest in like a giant piece, these are good small pieces. And then taller vases, travel mugs have been very popular, and then like bowls. Like you could, the thing about ceramics is like you can get really overwhelmed with everything you can make. So I would say the majority of what I make on the daily is mugs and vases, and then utensil holders.
Utensil holders.
Yeah, for, like in the kitchen.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you hold like your spatulas and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
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 How did you do this design on the outside of your mug where it's not just painted on, it's actually like there has ripples. I don't know how to describe it for the people listening. It looks really cool. You should see it.
I know. That's why I wish we could see, like, we could show her stuff.
Follow her
You're
on
gonna have to
Instagram.
follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, and like pictures really don't do it just. I don't feel. I want to sound humble too, but like they don't do the piece justice, because you really need to touch it. I liked the idea of someone holding a mug and having one hand on the belly and one hand on the handle, and really having that texture play on your hands. So this raised slip is actually just the clay body that I add a material called sodium silicate, and it basically replaces the water out of the clay. So once it's fired, it's more of a solid material, and it keeps it stayed raised. But I just hand pipe that on like you would like icing on a
Like
cake.
icing. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So I used to do that all by hand with a squeeze bottle, but I've recently invested in like an air gun, and it's amazing because it's like a air pressure machine that you just hold a button, and it has a stream of
Like if you were like airbrushing something.
yeah, but instead of it being like a spray, it's like extruding a solid.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah, so then I just sit there and watch movies and do that line by line.
Oh, by the way, you don't have to sound humble. Your stuff's really cool.
Yeah.
You're allowed to say that it's really cool.
The first thing I wanted to do when she walked in was to hold her mug.
To rub it?
I know, just like pick it up. I'm going to do
I'll
it
go
right
for
now.
it, yeah.
But I thought that might be rude. Ooh.
No, I love it when people pick my stuff up.
I really like that.
Yeah, do you want to hold it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, at craft shows, when people are like,
that's
"Can
so
I touch
cool.
your pieces?" I go, "Please go for it." 'Cause I don't want
Yeah.
people to buy a piece without holding it, because since each one is handmade, they all feel different and the handles are different. And the main reason for that,
Beautiful.
Thank you. And the main reason for that is like the idea is that everyone's hands are different, and they may find one mug to be more comfortable than another mug.
Yeah.
But a solid thing that I always do is I make the handles not so rounded, because if you look at the shape of your hands, they're not like rounded. So I like to flatten out the handle so it fits more comfortably in the hand. And the lip of a mug, I bevel it in, because I hate when you drink out of a coffee mug and it starts dribbling all over the
Yeah.
place. So I bevel it so it has that like kind of like a sharpness to it, so it cuts off the coffee, and then you don't end up with that awkward dribble.
That's awesome.
I like the handle. I bet that's not easy to do.
No. I struggle a lot with handles, because like you have to pull all of them and then attach them on there, and it is like the most frustrating thing whenever you have a finished piece and then you have a crack on the handle, and then like you have to like discount it by $10 just because there's a crack on the
Yeah.
handle.
I would 10 out of 10 crack the handle. Like I would be drinking the coffee at 7 o'clock in the morning and just go to set it on the table and knock the handle right off. But I really like the handle.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you made your necklace.
Yeah.
It's the same color scheme as your coffee cup.
Yeah.
Did
That
you
was-
do that on purpose?
No, it was an accident.
You don't
she never leaves
accessorize
the
with your
house.
coffee cup.
No,
never
like-
leaves the house without matching their coffee cup.
No, the thing is, like, I don't care a lot about fashion. Like, just during the day, I like to grab and go. So I have, like, 5 of the same tank tops, 5 of the same jeans, and put them on. But then I always, like, have, like, a complimentary color. So my purse today is pink, and then I have a pink mug and a pink necklace.
So you kind of did intentionally do it.
Yeah, but not like, I'm going to a podcast talking about my pottery. I might as
Yeah.
well look fancy with my necklace and my matching mug.
Well, you pulled it off.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like it.
It's such fashion.
Do you offer necklace jewelry?
Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything listed on my website right now because they're all living at different shops. But at craft shows, I will have necklaces and earrings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've done craft shows together, and I just never get to leave. Like, especially at the Handcrafted Cooperative, it's so busy the whole time.
Oh, yeah. I might have stopped by your booth, but I'm actually quite shy. And whenever I see someone I follow on Instagram before meeting them, I don't want to be like, hi, I stalk you. Do you want to talk?
I mean-
but now if I see you again, I'll be like, hi, we actually met. So I can talk
I
to
have
you
people
now.
stop by all the time that, like, other makers that, like,
Oh,
we follow
yeah.
each other, and I love that.
I love it, but for me, it feels awkward. But I love it when other
I'm
people
really
do it.
awkward, too. It's
Oh, my
fine.
gosh. I am
we
like,
can just feel awkward together.
well, I work in a studio by myself. So whenever I get out into the public, it's like, oh, my gosh, there's people here. What do I do?
yeah, I have kids, so I don't really know how to talk to grown-ups anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't have very many friends, so it's hard for me to get out in public. I hang out with you guys, and
I know. They feel bad for me because, like, I get excited to come here because it's just grown-ups, and they're like, this is your
Like,
getaway.
Like, we're not worth it. Go somewhere else.
So what does Hannah do when she's not throwing pottery?
She's thinking about pottery a lot. No, like a lot of my time is spent like it's an unhealthy obsession. I'm trying to find more balance, but really I'm a one lady show. So when I'm not actually in the studio making the pots, I'm updating the website, sending out emails, trying to market and apply to shows. But I guess whenever I'm actually like no work today, I've gotten really into bike riding, especially since it's fall and it's gorgeous. So I go on like bike rides all the time, and also I hang out with my dog. He is my best friend. He's a 14-year-old poodle.
Aw, like a big poodle?
No, he's an itty bitty boy.
Aw.
Yeah. He's
See, if Jed was here,
Yeah, I've
we
already
would
thought-
not be talking about pottery for the rest of the podcast.
We'd be talking about dogs.
yeah. I try to hold off the dog talk because like once I start talking about my dog, it's all over.
Oh man, we should have brought Jed. We should have made Jed come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gurus of talking about dogs.
I would listen to that. It's just all talk about dogs, and you bring in dogs to just sit there and like listen to them pant and stuff.
Does your dog have an Instagram too?
No, but he used to have a Facebook.
Ooh.
But then it got weird, so then I stopped doing it. No, but he shows up on my Instagram a lot, so that counts. His legal name is Butterscotch Cookies.
Legal name.
Yeah, but his friends call him Scotchy.
Oh.
He has friends?
Well, I call him Scotchy.
Oh. I thought you meant like puppy play dates.
No, he's a solo boy. He doesn't. Well, he's not mean. He just looks at me like I'm ready to go home. Why am I here?
He's an only child.
He is, and also he's an old man, so he's like, I'm too old for this. Don't take me home.
Did you make him a ceramic doggy bowl?
No, but it's on my
What?
list. I need to. No, it's been on my list.
You
Like,
could put the name on it. And
oh my gosh, that would
I
be
had
crazy.
a little ceramic bowl for my pig. I have a little pet pig. And I had a ceramic water bowl for her, and she like got mad because there was no water in it one day, and she head-butted it down the stairs and broke it.
Oh my
So now
God.
I might have to get another one from you.
That's so funny. Yeah, I might make a line of like dog things.
Do it.
I was even thinking about, I forget like what month it is, but it's like a shelter awareness month, and I'm thinking about doing like a fundraiser where we're making like bowls and
Yeah.
doing like a percentage of the
You
cost.
could like pipe little paw prints on them and stuff.
Oh my gosh,
That would be so cute.
I'm like,
Little paw prints and bones and
yeah.
fish
So
and
like
stuff.
my brain's like thinking,
we're
like,
gonna take
oh
a
my
time
gosh.
out in the podcast while she writes all this in her notes on her phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna start like sketching out ideas. Like, excuse me, I'll be back.
I'll take a percentage of that.
Yeah.
You could put some jewelry and bones and stuff on the outside of it.
Yeah,
You
like
guys could-
crystal encrusted pottery.
You could collaborate a pot together.
That'd be cool.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I had somebody ask me if I could do pottery. I think Jed asked me that if I could.
I know Jess, his wife, throws a pot every once
Okay,
in a while.
maybe
Not
that's
at
why.
him, but no, I'm kidding. She actually does dabble.
I love that you just keep saying pot.
Yeah,
Just so we're clear, Hannah makes pottery.
pottery.
Yes, pottery.
She's not a marijuana grower that we know of. Just pottery, not pot.
that we know of.
That we know. I mean, I don't know Hannah that well, but
I like
I can't
everything I know
speak-
about her so far.
yeah.
Let's just say I don't. Just like the record, because it's fine. But I say I do pottery, but whatever.
How many jokes do you hear about that?
Oh my gosh,
So many.
So many.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So many. Like,
I'm glad we could feed into the stereotype.
You're welcome.
yeah, of course you get the ghost. Were we rolling? We were talking about that?
Yeah.
We were. Okay, good. So you get a lot of that, and also just people talk about like, well, can you give me a free mug or whatever? But like they're trying to flirt and say it, and you're like, why are you trying to like take my inventory and trying to flirt that way?
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's people are weird. Because I think there's like
I'll
this.
agree with.
There's
That's
like
a
this,
weird way to flirt.
Yeah, they go, hey, will you make me a mug? And I'm like, no, you got to pay for it.
That's got to be the worst pickup line that I've ever heard.
That's awful.
And
Listen, if you're asking people for free stuff while trying to pick them up, you're doing it wrong. Like, just a
no, you
public
leave a big
service
old
announcement.
fat tip on that,
Yeah.
that bill that you're trying with your
No.
number on it.
It helps just to say hi.
That's a good starting point.
Yeah, but
But we're all getting free mugs for being on the podcast.
It's true.
No, I'm just kidding.
all
heard
right,
she had a
I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I heard
She
had
really
a box
snatched
of them
her
in
mug
car.
No.
It's like, don't look at it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, when people find out you're a ceramicist, that's like where all the
Is that
conversation
what it's
goes.
called, a ceramicist?
Yeah, that's the fancy word for
That
it.
is a fancy
I always
word.
tell people that I just make mud pies for a living because it's just dirt. But
Yeah.
the proper term is ceramicist or ceramic artist.
Okay, I've heard ceramic artist, but I've never heard ceramicist.
Yeah, I currently have braces right now, so I have a bit of a lisp.
I always have a lisp, but it's okay.
Yeah, so whenever I say I'm a ceramicist, and they're like, "What'd you just say?" So I don't say it often.
So I always have a lisp, so I didn't even think anything of it.
Yeah,
Isn't it terrible that lisp has an S in it?
it's
It's-
rude.
It is awful. Like, I think that's the worst joke ever.
Oh my gosh, I used to have a lisp when I was in first grade, but then I had to go to speech therapy for a couple of years, and then as soon as I got my braces, it all came back,
Yeah.
which was really rude. So hopefully, whenever I get them off in December, so hopefully when I get them off, my voice goes back to normal. But we'll see.
My brain is just racing with possibilities of how you could make yourself a clay retainer, a potter. I'm just trying to think of all the possibilities that
Actually,
you can do.
in the dentist world, they do have jobs for ceramicists where you go and you sculpt clay, like teeth molds and stuff. Like with a ceramics degree, you could be working in a dentist office.
Really?
Yeah. Because whenever I was like graduating and freaking out about the future, I was looking into a few things, and I was telling my professor like, "Oh, I could work in a dentist office." And he's like, "You would hate that. Don't do that."
That's so crazy. I never would have thought about that.
What
yeah.
are other things that I can't say the word pottercists? That's
That works.
yeah,
Pottercist.
Pottercist.
ceramicist, pottercist. No, what are some other possibilities that you have as you can make teeth? That's something that I didn't ever think of before.
Yeah. For mass production too, whenever you buy like of course Fiesta Ware, which is like the most popular manufacturer in West Virginia, all those people are potters. And so like production of like the bigger lines of ceramics and like porcelain pieces. Besides the whole dentist thing and the production, I'm not sure. I figure you could do other things, but
Could probably build a building or something.
out of clay,
Yeah.
why not? It'd be really heavy, but go for
Where
it.
do you get your clay? That's another question that I had.
You posted about that the other day, didn't you?
Yeah.
About having to drive to go get your clay.
Yeah, so I go to Standard Ceramics in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So to actually get my supplies, it's an hour and a half trip to get. So I usually try to buy them in bulk when I can. But that's like the closest place to get them unless you buy online. There's like a whole ceramics culture that people don't know about. Like every year I go to a ceramics conference called NCECA. And it's where like all these clay nerds come together and we start like oohing and awing over our Beyoncés of ceramics. And we watch them work. And so I go to Standard. That's where I get all my dry materials. But you could also order things online. But the shipping,
I was going to say
It's
it's
a-
probably really heavy stuff, right?
it's so heavy. Like I usually get my boxes in 50-pound boxes. Yeah, that's why I'm so buff, because I have to carry all that stuff into my studio and going downstairs. But I usually only get my stains and my tools from online, but the rest of the materials I have to go to Standard to get those.
Yeah, because I didn't imagine that you could just go dig in your yard and find the right consistency. Like, it sounds like you have the science down to exactly how the clay that you get is going to react, and you probably just couldn't farm that yourself.
You
And then-
could. I mean,
you
there's some people who find clay deposits like in their backyards, and they'll make really rustic looking pots. But for what I do, I prefer a very pure clay with no grog, so like no sandy bits in it, so I can sponge the crap out of it without worrying about the sandy bits coming through the texture of the clay, because I like it to be really nice and smooth. So I get the clay manufactured, so I know exactly what it's going to end up looking like.
Oh, we have
an awkward
We have a
silence.
lull.
No, that's okay. I'm trying to think. My brain is racing again with all the possibilities. So, you drive all the way to Pittsburgh. People don't ask her for a free mug. She does the work.
No, like I don't mean to sound mean about it because like for a family,
No, you should.
Yeah,
Nobody should be asking you for free stuff. It's rude.
yeah, and also like discounts and stuff. It's really it's an awkward situation because like this isn't just my hobby. This is my career.
Yeah.
This is how this is how I pay bills. This is my livelihood. And do you ever have at crashes where people try to barter with you, or anywhere? Because I had my first experience with it last week.
Which I love trade work.
I love trading work, but not like a customer saying, I'll give you less money for this thing.
Oh, I thought you meant people like offering trading
Oh, no,
work.
I love trading
I
artwork.
do too. I love trade
I
work.
love it. But whenever someone's like, I'll give you $10 less for this piece.
No, honestly, my husband's an artist too, and he hears a lot more of that. Like, well, could you do it for this much? Like, he'll give them a price and say, well, could you do it for this much? He's like, no, that's why I told you the first price, like, because that's how much it costs.
Yeah.
But like, I've been really lucky so far. I'm sure now that I've said it out loud, I'm probably going to get an influx of
Just like knock on
people.
wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so far I've been really lucky. But I do know that it happens a lot. Like, I know that people feel really entitled to artists
Yeah. And
because they feel like it's not a real job, like it's like a hobby.
yeah. And it is the best job in the whole wide world, and I'm so thankful for it. But there are days that you wake up and you just feel really defeated or you're just tired, but it's still a job. And the weirdest things that happen to me at craft shows when someone picks up my piece and they go, ooh, that's a bit pricey, don't you think?
I've gotten that.
Yeah, and then they try to say, well, tell me exactly how many hours you have in this because they're trying to calculate how much you pay yourself per hour. So here's a little public service announcement. As a maker, most of us don't pay ourselves
No.
what we should per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, I'm trying to be nice about it, but like, we don't. We care about the customer. We want to make sure you guys feel comfortable paying what you're paying, but there's so much more involved. So it's not just me sitting at my wheel making the stuff. It's also me cleaning the studio, maintaining it, driving to get materials.
We don't have
online.
401ks or health insurance from our employers. And
Yeah, we got to pay for our own insurances. So there's a lot involved.
And when we go, every artist has a slow season at some point during the year.
Yeah.
And we go weeks without any pay at all sometimes. And I mean, every small business owner understands that like every purchase is a big deal.
It's huge.
Every single time I get a notification that somebody's made an order on my website, it's exciting. Whether it was a $40 order or $120, it's exciting.
Yeah. Just the idea of someone like choosing you.
Yeah.
It's very honoring.
Yeah.
And it means something. It really does.
The thing that I run into a lot, because I do a lot with the Christian music industry, is especially my older brother, he'll bring a contract and say, you can have this band for X amount of dollars. And then the church or venue or wherever is like, well, is it okay if we offer them less? I mean, do they really need money because they're playing for Jesus?
Oh my gosh.
Or just the music business in general, where
It's like, but I'm not playing for Jesus, I'm playing for you.
I mean,
You're the ones that asked for it.
you have to pay. But no, I've seen that a lot where I know Daniel is in music and he could tell you, I don't know how many times where someone will offer you, let's say $500 to show up and play a show, and then you don't get paid, or it's just, I don't know, it's hard to be happy about doing what you love to do when someone screws you over.
When
like
somebody
that.
wants to undercut you all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like in the making world, it's like kind of like a taboo topic to talk about price. But I got a business degree as well while in college. So I'm all about talking about price. I'll
Yeah.
talk about it all day because this is besides the fact that it brings me joy to make pottery, I'm also doing it as my job.
Right.
Like this is what I need to do.
And that's a big leap of faith to make art for a living.
Yeah, but the reason why I got started doing it was I was in a good position. My parents were really supportive, thinking if I didn't do it now, I never would, and I would really regret it. But it is, you wake up some days and you're like, it would be easier if I got a normal job with a actual paycheck. It'd be less stressful, but I wouldn't be nearly as fulfilled if I did
Yep.
that.
Yep. I was thinking about that just a couple days ago, like how I get a lot of, well, is this all you do?
Yeah.
And I mean, I know most people don't mean it to be rude, but it's like, yeah, and I work way more hours than I should be for the amount of pay that I get for it. Like, I would never work this hard for a paycheck, ever.
Yeah, there's like that saying of, I work 60 hours a week, so I don't work 40, so I don't have to work 40. Like
Yeah.
that idea of like, I work this much for myself, so I don't have to go into the corporate world.
Yeah. And I love that I get to set my own hours. You know, if you want to come here, you don't have to make sure you're off work that day.
Exactly.
You just don't. But it also, you're going to make up for it later when you're working until midnight trying to finish up what you're trying to do at some point.
Yes, I am in production mode, so I've seen 4 a.m. way too many
Yep.
times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you have a business degree. That's also really interesting because a lot of the people that come in here trying to promote their business, 9 times out of 10, they say, well, I love pottery. I don't know anything about the business side. And I don't know what to do.
I hired somebody to manage the
Yeah.
business aspects
Right.
of it.
Right.
Or I don't know what to do with the funds or balancing cost versus making pricing. But it sounds like you are all in and not just an artist, but also, I guess just an artist is not what I mean. But people that are artistic
Right.
normally aren't good at crunching the numbers. People at crunching numbers are not good at the art side. So
Yeah.
well-rounded.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You've
great.
got like the artsy side of your brain and the logical side of your brain.
I don't
where-
have either side.
Yeah, so I decided to get the degree because I got a scholarship to go to Fairmont State, and I realized that I could take as many classes as I wanted to. It was only the scholarship was for 4 years, so as much as you could fit in 4 years, that's what you got. So I'm like, I can get 2 degrees for the price of 1. So I went ahead and did it. Because also I get really competitive with myself, so
Yeah, I understand that.
yeah, so like I'm gonna do it, and so I got the business degree. So it really helped me try to get into the mindset of the accounting aspect, marketing, just how to honestly present yourself in a situation. Because yeah, you're an artist, but you can't show up to a meeting with like paint all over yourself
Right.
and like just not knowing how to talk or present yourself properly, which is what I felt like the business side did. But that degree did nothing for actually starting a business. Like, that had it all to do with trial and error.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the smaller things, like the numbers and the marketing, like, the business degree absolutely helped.
Taxes are my...
Yes.
That's where I'm like, maybe I don't want to. Every time I think about doing taxes, I'm like, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I just want somebody to take taxes out of a paycheck for me. Like, I
Oh my
always have that
gosh.
moment. Do you feel like that?
No, because I am super blessed, and my mom is a bookkeeper.
Oh,
Yes. I won the family lottery. My dad is he likes to build things out of wood, so he helps me with my displays, and my mom is a bookkeeper. So there's this saying that it takes a village to raise an artist, and it absolutely does.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm a one-woman...
Good for you.
Yeah, like, I'm a one-woman show when it comes to actually producing the work, but when it comes to everything else, I get a lot of help from family and friends.
Good for you, because it sucks.
I
You need to
know
move
it
in with
sucks.
Hannah.
Yeah. Can your mom help me? Can she be my mom? Because my mom does hair, and that doesn't help me with my
I know.
taxes.
My mom does hair too.
Yeah, it's not good for taxes.
No.
Well, you guys look fabulous, but, like, you don't have your taxes paid.
I never paid for a haircut my entire life, so I guess I saved money doing that. But doing taxes is not something I'm great at.
No, the IRS is looking for me, but my hair looks good.
Yeah, it's like my biggest fear of getting audited in something, because if you mess up, you could just lose your business. And I'm a chronic overthinker where I think like, oh, like this, here's the situation, the worst thing's gonna happen.
Yep.
So that's where my brain always goes.
We're like the same person.
Oh, yay.
can just-
I'm sorry. I have to live with your brain.
Just sitting there in bed at night. Did I write that down? Did I write that down? Gotta get up. I gotta go write that down.
That's how I am.
I do that.
I make notes on my phone. Like, I'll be laying in bed, and I never have my phone turned on because I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I never have my phone in bed, but I'll have it on my nightstand.
Other side of the room.
And I'll have a thought, and I'll be like, I'm not going to remember that when I wake up. I better write it down so I can check it in the morning. And then I'll get up and, like, make myself a note about it.
No, I'm the crazy person who I'm afraid of like leaving the water running or leaving the oven on. So after I load the kiln, I always film the little computer on the kiln to make sure that the right program is running. So if I'm laying in bed and I'm like, I have some really important things in the kiln, is it going to explode? I like open up my phone and watch the video of the program to make sure I'm like, okay, it's safe, it's fine.
Look at you.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's actually really helped me because
I mean, you're not going to burn your parents' house down.
Right. Luckily, it's in the garage, so
okay.
I'm not going to burn it
Just
down
burn
anyway.
the garage
Yeah,
down.
yeah. I mean, that's fine.
But I have candles going on all the time in the studio, so I've like run downstairs to make sure that.
I left a candle burning.
I
all
have
night
a
the other
fear
night.
of
I felt
candles.
so bad.
Like, we have candles burning right now. If I go upstairs, I'll blow all of them out because I don't want to come down here to just nothingness.
No, I was so shocked when I walked in because I thought it was like a very like, besides you, like a very like masculine studio. And I walked in, you guys have like beautiful candles going, and I'm like, oh, they're classy.
Daniel's all about some ambiance. I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming it's Daniel.
I'm just excited that she thinks I'm masculine. I'm like looking around.
Josiah's
I'm
like, I'm a big boy.
oh, yeah. I didn't do any of these decorations, but I will claim all of them. Now, I was down here when they were painting, and they were like, hey, you want to come over and help paint? I said, nope, but I'll come over. And I sat down, and I didn't help paint. Painting, I hate. There's like 10 chores, probably 2 chores that I hate more than anything, is painting and weed eating.
I don't mind weed eating.
I hate weed eating, but
I
they
hate
said, you want to come
laundry.
help paint? And I said, I will come, but I will not paint. And I did not. And then they gave me a hard time. They gave me grief because I sat here and cheered them on as they painted.
You're doing a great job,
Yeah.
sweetie. Go for it.
But I was here. No.
I wasn't.
You're going to have to carry the podcast now because I'm masculine over here and I'm feeling myself.
Jeez. Oh, jeez.
Can
I feel like I have been carrying the podcast.
Can I have a free
Josiah.
mug? No, I'm just kidding.
So, about that free mug.
That free mug.
No, I actually am currently mugless. So I'm looking at this mug and
Mugless, like none?
none.
You don't own a coffee cup?
I don't.
Do you just drink water out of your hands at home or something, or drink
Yeah.
coffee?
No, normally I just,
Do you drink coffee?
yeah,
How do you drink coffee and you don't own
like
a
a
mug?
paper cup.
Oh, that's sad.
I know.
It tastes worse out of it. Tastes okay. I'm a firm believer that coffee tastes better out of a handmade mug.
I
I believe that.
I've never owned a ceramic mug, but it's funny, Michael and I were talking about this. Michael's Daniel's brother, and he does other things.
Are you telling me that?
No, I'm just telling the people that are listening that don't
you were
maybe
looking
know.
directly at me like
Well,
I had not met Michael yet.
No, it's whatever. But we were ranking things on what we like to drink out of, and
Such a random conversation.
no, but he
I like
said
a cup, honestly.
yeah, but he said that styrofoam is his favorite thing to drink out of.
I love it too.
And
I
then
don't know why.
Paper, and he hates drinking out of glasses or metal cups.
I hate metal cups.
I love
I
drinking
hate
out
metal
of metal
cups. No.
but I don't know.
We have
I'm just-
one ceramic mug that we drink out of, and it's probably one of my. It probably is my favorite to drink out of. There's just something about it, and it was
Yeah.
a handmade one that I got for my husband. I think last year for our anniversary or something. But I'm gonna have to like start tagging him in all of your posts,
Yeah.
and just like dropping hints every time I see a mug that you post that I like.
That's my brain is still wrapped around the whole like people prefer styrofoam over real cups. Like that's just
I like-
blowing my mind.
Like when McDonald's got rid of their styrofoam teacups, I was upset. Like I don't know why. Like maybe it's just because they're horrible and it's like a guilty pleasure.
One time I went to Chick-fil-A and they have the styrofoam cups, and I went to put it in my cup holder, and I had my keys in my hand, and I had punctured the cup without knowing it, and it just yeeted tea all over
Heated tea.
all over the place. It was
If you understood how much I hear yeet while being around.
I hear it as a joke, but not as like just into like normal conversation.
No, Daniel.
Oh,
Daniel,
Daniel
Daniel says yeet more than anyone I've ever. I think Daniel might be the first person I've ever heard.
What's the
use
definition? Does it mean to throw?
yeet. I guess.
yeah. It's from I think it was a Vine.
He just says
Oh.
it. I feel like he just uses it in place of random words.
It's like
though.
you know how people from Alabama say "roll tide," and it could really mean anything just depending on the context.
I suppose.
You can say "yeet" in just about any situation, and it will fit.
Like I'll just send him. Like we've got a group message that goes on, and I'll say something, and then he'll just randomly respond with yeet. Like it means okay sometimes, or cool, or
Or
whatever.
to throw, or
All right.
Yeah. I
you
don't know.
yeet pottery.
You do.
I do yeet pottery. Oh my gosh, I'm going to say that now. I yeet pottery. That's amazing.
So what do you do? I yeet pottery.
I yeet pottery. Like, do you eat pottery?
I yeet pot.
Sometimes, but no, I yeet it.
That's my favorite part of this whole thing so far.
Yeah. I love
man.
it. Instead of titling it my name, just title it She Yeets Pottery.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Professional yeeter.
You need to have like a
Ceramics.
little. Do you stamp your stuff at all? Like, do you sign it in any way?
I do sign it. I would show you, but I still have coffee in it.
Yeah.
But I have a little
Okay.
signature, but that's just hand done.
See, you just need to start doing it with like just signing a eat.
Yeet.
Oh my gosh. My clientele, though, is like young people, but also like older ladies. So they go, "What is yeet?"
It's my initials.
Her Instagram handle is going to change to Hannah's Yeeted Pottery. We're making business
I
movements
know.
over here.
I'm gonna buy the T-shirt when it comes out.
Oh yeah, I'm making T-shirts. Like, She Yeets Pottery. Well, I do have a T-shirt that says "Support your local pot dealer," and it's like a mug, which it's so funny to wear. I almost wore it to church the other day, and I'm like, they probably wouldn't like that, so I didn't. But
I love it.
yeah, I love that she yeets pottery. That's a good T-shirt.
Hannah's Yeeted Pottery.
Yeah, I like that. I need to give you the royalties though.
I'll let you have it.
Yes.
If you use it, I'll let you
This
have
is our
it.
gift.
I'll give
Unless
you-
you make millions.
I will give you a mug if I make
I
that shirt.
accept that. Josiah needs one too because he's drinking
Okay,
coffee.
I
out
was
of
like,
paper
I feel
cups.
bad for you, so you might actually get a mug now. It's
No.
sad.
No, I will not accept a free
See, he
mug.
did exactly what you said you don't want people to do. He just didn't straight up ask you for a coffee
I
cup.
guilt
He's
tripped.
just- yeah,
Yeah,
he's
the
like,
sympa- the
I don't
sympathetic
even
thing.
own a coffee
I know
cup.
she has a soft spot for dogs, so I just did the puppy beg, and
Same thing. Yeah. It's like, I've never seen a mug before. What is it?
Oh.
I don't know.
I just drink coffee out of my hands, or
It's like boiling coffee.
Yeah.
Just burn yourself.
He's like, I don't even own a coffee pot. I just let it run into my mouth.
I just pour it straight in my
just
cup
a
holder
coffee
in my
maker.
car.
I just chew the grinds.
with a straw.
Yeah, I just eat coffee beans in the morning because my house doesn't have running water. No, I'm just kidding.
If you thought this was going to be a professional podcast about pottery, I'm sorry.
I think we're doing pretty well.
No.
I've learned a lot about pottery.
We talked a little bit about it. We talked about making it, pricing, craft shows.
You made it farther than I made it talking about jewelry on my podcast.
That's cool.
13% shrinkage. Which, no, dang it. Okay.
Sorry.
I was gonna let it slip, but you just.
I'm sorry.
I'm just a pure person, and I don't think like you. No, but that's something I didn't think of before.
Yeah,
when pottery shrinks.
it does.
Ashley's gone.
I know. And different clay bodies shrink different ways. So, different percentages. Oh, you're crying.
He just looked so sincere when he said it.
Thank you for coming this week and listening. I'll be over here with my coffee in my hands. So, I don't know where to go from here. Do you like The Office?
The show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love The Office.
I'm just trying to think of things that,
You know, I watched the first episode 2 times and I couldn't get past it.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Everybody tells me I need to get past the first episode and try again.
I didn't
You
like The
do?
Office until Andy Bernard was in it. And I
don't even
like,
know who that is.
he's in the
What?
3rd season. He's my favorite character. Andy.
Oh.
See, I love Parks and Rec. And I know it's like the same creator, right?
It's the same humor.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get him. I couldn't get with The Office.
You don't like Andy? I feel like he's awkward and just an awful person, just like me, so I relate to him very well.
I feel like I identify more like Michael Scott. Like, I'm a love child of Michael Scott, and I
Okay.
guess maybe Dwight.
I don't.
You have no idea what we're talking
I
about.
know who the character of Dwight is.
Yeah. The dude with glasses who grows
Yeah.
beets. Oh, but- yeah.
Bears Beats Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have a shirt like that, don't you?
I
No,
don't.
it's- Daniel has.
He might.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Bears.
I might have made that
Yeats.
up.
He gro-
Okay, I didn't know if you're actually saying yeets or if you're like, okay, I don't know if I heard that right.
He said
yeah, I
Yeats.
did.
Now, I've watched that show, like, whenever I'm working in the studio, I have something just loop all the time. I usually have The Office looping or some other movies going.
Do you have what do you listen to besides? So you do The Office? Do you listen to music to like get you in the mindset to throw pottery?
Depending on the day, like if I'm
To
having
yeet pottery.
to yeet to pottery, usually if I'm throwing, I will listen to something more calm because I like play it off well, but I'm not the best at the wheel. Like I'm very like I think it's 'cause I'm jittery because I drink too much coffee, so I'm trying to throw something and it just destroys it. So I listen to like a lot of John Mayer or Paper Kites, like something very calming.
I love John Mayer.
But then when I'm painting, it's all movies because it's just like aimlessly painting. So I have movies playing in the background.
I like playing something that I've seen 6 million times,
Yeah.
so I don't have to think about it.
Right.
I just hear it and I already know what's going on, and it's kind of in the background.
Or-
Is that how you are?
Yeah, but also like the second Iron Man movie, I watched it again. I watched it before in the studio, but then I watched it again. It wasn't the second. It was like one of the later ones actually. But I watched it on Netflix or something, and then I watched it again outside of the studio, and I realized I didn't actually watch the movie. It was all brand new to me because I was just painting and not actually watching it.
Oh.
So there's a lot of movies that I've watched, but I didn't actually see.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Oh my goodness. So I'm a Marvel girl.
Yeah,
For
me
sure.
too.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the table on that one.
Well, literally, you are
Super
too.
excited about the Joker movie coming out.
I am too.
I wish it came out last night because I had nothing to do last night.
I'll watch it. Like, I'm not against DC, but
Yeah,
I would
I like
prefer
DC
Marvel.
too, but
yeah.
I prefer Marvel.
Yeah, but I like the different superheroes for different reasons. Like, just because of his heart and whatever, just like Captain America, but humor, Iron Man, and then I just like also Spider-Man, but only Tom Holland Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield was he seemed to be too cool. And then Tobey Maguire was a little bit like too much of a nerd. And also he was like
Tobey Maguire was
like
a weird Spider-Man.
Yeah, he also seemed too old. He was like, I am 16. And I'm like, you are a grown man. You are not, sir.
Don't you lie to me.
No.
I'm really sad that Thor's not on your list.
He's just a pretty boy. Like, I don't know.
I like Thor.
You like
love
Thor?
Thor-
Even before Chris Hemsworth played Thor.
Thor
Like,
and the Hulk are my two
the
favorite
character
Marvel.
of
Yeah,
Thor,
like
I just
Hawkeye's
love.
good.
Did
Yeah.
you see where Tom Holland announced that he's staying, like he's still going to be Spider-Man?
Yeah, but didn't they say that Sony and Disney made up and now they're just going to go through with the MCU movies?
I don't know everything about it, but I know that Tom Holland posted the video from The Wolf of Wall Street where he's like yelling, "I'm not effing leaving," and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, he's still Spider-Man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know what happened there.
They-
I saw all the memes and everything.
Well,
but
honestly, my theory is that it was a big marketing ploy because
Yeah.
how could you separate, especially right now when they're gearing Spider-Man to be the new Tony Stark? I mean, are you seriously telling me that there was even talk of them separating the two franchises? I'm convinced that it was I'm a big conspiracy theorist.
I am too.
I find conspiracy theories in everything. And I'm convinced that it was a whole marketing ploy just to get the audience really fired up and engaged. So I was never
wouldn't
worried.
doubt it.
I was never worried.
I did enjoy all the poor Uncle Ben memes because every time they restart Spider-Man, Uncle Ben's got to die. Spoiler alert. So when they
It's not that big of a spoiler.
They should know at this point.
I know, but if
Darth Vader.
If you don't already know,
if
you
you don't
deserve
know,
to have that
Uncle,
spoiled.
Uncle Ben's gonna die, and so are Batman's parents. Sorry, guys, but all the memes came out when Tom Holland might not be Spider-Man anymore. Everyone's, oh, poor Uncle Ben. They've got to restart Spider-Man, new character.
What do you think the Batman movies would be like if Batman's parents didn't die?
There is an alternate universe where that happens.
What?
Yeah, it's in the comic books, and
Is it terrible?
well, no,
I
Bruce.
feel like that's
He won't
kind
be
of
as upset, I think.
That's what I'm saying. I
There's
feel like that's a
whole
big base.
alternate
Like,
universe where Bruce Wayne dies, and then his dad becomes Batman, and then his mom becomes the Joker. It's weird.
Oh.
Yeah, they have all kinds of different stuff. So if you think about it, it's probably out there.
you
Every
want to know
Batman
who
story
the
has been
worst
written.
Batman was ever?
Val Kilmer.
Your face was just
You're
so funny.
so disgusting. I was just throwing one out there. I was
It's like
trying
he
to
just like kicked your pig or something.
No.
Like he hurt you.
kicked your pig. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you kick my pig. Listen, we have hardwood floors, and she has those little hooves. So if you kick her a little bit, she's kind of
She's gonna
Scooby Doo's
slide.
across the floor.
just slides. Yeah. Did she like scratch up your floor?
We have a baby gate between the kitchen and the living room, so she can't get into the kitchen and knock the trash can over and get into it. So like when we want she like guards the gate with her life. Like she's just waiting for the day she makes her way into that kitchen. So we have to like skid her across the floor when we want to go into the kitchen. So we just kind of give her like a little nudge, and she like slides 3 feet away from the gate. Okay, but
Worst Batman.
Batman. Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I know a lot of
was
people don't
a
like him.
Terrible Batman. Terrible. Now, listen, he was a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I'll give him
He
that.
was a bad Batman. He reminded me of. So you hear a little kid, like you see him put on a Batman suit, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Batman."
I'm not wearing
Yeah,
hockey
that's
pants.
that's how he was as Batman. He's like, "I'm Batman." Like I didn't believe him.
I was pleasantly surprised by Ben Affleck.
I was too.
I did not think I was going to
When
like
they
him.
first announced, I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with pottery.
No,
this has
this-
turned into the geek show.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, this is my second life.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like when they first announced that Ben Affleck was going to be Batman, I was still mad about Christian Bale. So I was just like, oh my God, we might as well just never have a good Batman movie again. And then I got to thinking about it and I was like, but Ben Affleck's a really good actor. Like,
He
I
could
feel
pull
like
out.
he can be really diverse.
I think
then
it was
he
important to
did.
do the computerized Batman voice after Christian Bale's Batman
It's
voice.
really bad.
I think it was important. I'm glad that they went that route.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, my 3-year-old does a better Batman
Who's
voice.
the best Batman?
I don't know. I'm not as educated on this.
See, we're talking about the wrong stuff. Who's the best Marvel character? See, I don't know anything about Marvel. I'm trying.
Who's the best Marvel character?
I really
the
like
Like
Thor.
current character or like person playing a character?
I don't know. I was just trying to switch up the subject to something Hannah knows.
Oh.
I know that I did not like the latest Avengers movie because Thor and Hulk are my two favorite characters.
I have not seen it.
You haven't seen
So
it?
don't know.
I won't spoil it for
Yeah,
you, but I
don't.
did not like them in the new movie. That's all.
I
You
agree
didn't
with that.
like
I didn't like Thor or the Hulk.
I think Thor, like, what he started. I'm trying to be very vague. I don't think it was his character of what happened, like what he
Yeah, that
progressed to.
didn't seem.
That didn't seem like his character at all.
No, it was way different than what I
It,
thought.
it was very much like the Marvels attempt to be really funny, I
Yeah,
think.
and I think it wasn't.
And also, can I just say, Captain Marvel is very annoying. Like, her inclusion just seems so random.
I wasn't a big fan of her, but I'm excited to see Natalie Portman. Like,
Yeah, I want to see like more movies and stuff.
did you see that announcement?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited about that. I think she's going to be great. I'm sorry, I like puns.
I appreciated it. That was a genuine laugh. I wasn't laughing at you.
No, you are. It's okay.
You just start giggling, and I'm like, did I miss something?
Well, it's Natalie Portman, and she's Thor now. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I appreciate
For
it.
some reason, I
got
just
it.
like was
No,
not
it's
getting
okay.
that. Yeah.
It wasn't that funny.
I thought
Ashley
it was.
liked
I
it.
liked it. All right. So pottery.
We don't go back to the pottery.
Yeah.
We always get really off
We
topic,
do.
and then we try to bring it back around. Sometimes it doesn't work.
So we've mentioned your Instagram a few times. Where can people find you to place orders and follow you and your creations?
Yeah, so Instagram is really good at Hannah's Clay Creations. I also have a Facebook page, if anyone's still on Facebook, at Hannah's Clay Creations. And then the website is hannahsclaycreations.com. And there it will take you to, I have everything listed, like all of my events for the rest of the year and where my pieces are in different shops. I have those locations on the website. And also, email is really good too. I have a separate email just for that business, so I'll get it directly. So it's hannah@hannahsclaycreations.com.
Do you have any events? Like you say
Yeah.
you
What
go-
events are coming out?
Yeah, so like I don't know when this is airing, like this
I don't
episode.
either. It should be relatively soon.
Yeah, I'll
though.
say in the next 2 weeks, I would imagine.
Next 2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks to a month.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll
don't quote me 'cause I don't
say
know. I don't do any of that.
That's all Daniel.
I'm just putting pressure on Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel. You can't hear me right now.
oh, is
He's
he not
rolling his
around?
eyes.
Yeah. Well, I guess for this area, because I have something going on in Deep Creek, this Autumn Glory gift sale. It's October 12th. And then I have a show at Fairmont State, and it's an alumni show. So they have me and 2 other alumni doing a show October 15th. Mountaineer Week in Morgantown, November 1st through 3rd. And then the Trinity Craft Show, which is a really good show. It's at Trinity Church, November 9th. It's in Fairmont. And then November 16th is the Handcrafted Cooperative in Morgantown. And that same day is Market in the Park in
I'm doing
Fairmont.
market in the park.
What is it?
I'm doing market in the park.
I'll
too.
see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're doing both?
Yeah, I'm crazy.
You're doing the cooperative that morning and.
Yeah, there's a 2-hour gap between the two.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I already like recruited some friends and family to help me, and also like emotional support so I don't get crazy.
Yeah, because the cooperative is stressful because it's such a nice event.
Yeah.
That like I feel like I have to live up to everybody else there.
Oh my gosh,
Because the displays are beautiful.
we could go all about like feeling inferior to other people and just like that weird jealousy thing. But like it's really toxic, but it happens naturally when you put yourself out there so much and you just start comparing yourself like, oh, I'm not as good as so and so.
You're always your biggest critic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I try really hard to turn that into something productive and find a way to better myself instead of just like feeling down about like, because I feel like most people start with like a really small display.
Absolutely.
And it's like, it's not that impressive.
It's embarrassing a little bit too.
Yeah,
it's very humbling.
It is. And then you see all these people that have these huge, like well thought out displays and you're
Expensive
like, oh man.
displays too.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
And it's really easy to be like, oh, I don't belong here.
Yeah.
It would be irresponsible, though, as a business person to spend thousands of dollars on a display when you're getting started.
Exactly, because you don't know your needs
you
yet.
to slowly build up.
Yeah, you want to know what your needs are, how much product you're actually going to build, you're going to bring. So it's very wise to start, especially in building a studio too, to start very, very small because you don't know how your needs will change later on. And also, if it doesn't work out, you don't want to have all this huge investment into it too.
Yeah. How do you plan for what you take to the events? Like, I know you said that you do the cross stitching for one event.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's going to sell out every time. Do you think, oh, I sold 20 mugs last year, I'm going to bring 25 this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I do keep track of the different demographics and which areas like different works, because you will notice that in Morgantown at a certain shop, people prefer the different colored work, the pinks and the blues. And then another shop will prefer like the more natural, because I have a whole line of just white pottery. So whenever you're doing shows, I pay attention to, okay, handcrafted cooperative, those people love plants and they love planters. So I have a lot of those, but then I will go to a market in Wheeling and those people love mugs. So when it comes to where I'm going, I try to focus. So last time I went to this location, I sold out of these pieces. So I want to bring double those pieces.
It's always a good feeling to sell out, but then if just in my head you're sitting there, you got 2 hours left in your event, thinking, oh man,
It's a little stressful,
I could have
but
this much more money because people are buying this specific thing.
Yeah, I typically don't sell out just because I usually bring so much. It would be insane if I sold out. But for me, there is that panic of, I like to have my booth look a specific way where I have colors. And I have 8 colors going on in my studio. So if I have a show where all of my yellow sells out, I'll panic because I'm like, I have a show next week and I have no more yellow. So then I try to force a yellow batch that week, and it never works out. But no one cares. I just care.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I stress about too. It's not that like I stress about like, oh, I could have made so much more money if I would have brought this much more stuff. It's, oh crap, look how diminished my display looks. Like,
yeah.
Look, and then I'm like, I have to remind myself, I'm like, but that's good. That means people are buying your stuff. Like,
yeah, but also I panic, like, is this like one person who could make or break my career going to stop by and my display just looks bad that day?
Yeah.
See, I'm like back at like the worst case scenario situation.
I feel ya.
Yeah, but I feel like every creative has like those thought processes. I feel less alone. Like that.
Yeah.
I used to feel crazy, but now it's like, oh, okay, we're all crazy.
Yeah, we're all crazy.
Yeah.
You have to be a certain amount of crazy to be an artist.
For sure.
Every artist is a little bit crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not an artist. No, I'm crazy different ways. I'm just not good at making art. I'm not really good at anything, but that's okay.
You're filling in for Daniel with the self-pity over there.
I was feeling myself with a masculine studio just a little bit ago, but I'm right
We've
back.
lost it.
I'm right back.
Only lasted for like
You gotta
15
tell
minutes.
him he's manly again. Perk him back up.
It's not even my studio. I took Daniel's manliness.
You didn't even paint it, so.
No, I didn't. I'm looking around at the paint, trying to absorb the masculinity again.
While the candles burn in
Yeah,
the
while
back.
the candles. All right, this is a losing battle.
Well, you're outnumbered today, so it's just 2 against 1 right now.
That's how I prefer it, actually.
Yeah.
So, stop looking at me, Ashley.
You need like blinders on so you don't see her.
Oh, Josiah, you're just so sweet and innocent.
I'm the worst.
That's what Daniel and Jed keep telling me. I keep saying that you're nice, and they're like, no, you just don't know him well enough.
No, I'm a really terrible person.
That's what they keep saying. Like, it's not a joke. They keep telling me
I know.
that.
I'm in the group chat.
I can see it.
They don't say it just to your face. They say it to mine.
Oh, well, I mean, at least they're not saying it behind your back and not to
At least
your
it's
face.
honorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts a lot less when it's behind my back. I prefer it that way. Now I'm sad. I'm done.
Aw. All right, well.
On that note.
Do you have any other things you'd like to mention?
Oh, I have a question.
Okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
What stores do you sell at? What shops are you in?
Ooh, okay, yeah. So I'm in Tamarack and Beckley.
Oh, good for you.
Thanks.
That's really impressive.
That's like a West Virginia landmark.
Yeah.
Dude, I felt like a fraud when I got accepted because I applied really early, like fresh out of college, and they go, okay, you're in. And I'm like, excuse me?
What?
Are you sure? So I'm there, which it's a huge honor because it's like the best of West Virginia, and then I'm there.
Isn't that the weirdest feeling to feel like a fraud for your artwork?
We could talk
I know that.
Dude.
I feel so weird about feeling like a fraud.
like the imposter syndrome where you feel like you didn't earn it or you don't deserve it, and then
Yeah.
you get like a certain accolade, and you're like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Me? But anyway,
That's
other
so funny that you say that.
Oh, I think it's because we all think it.
You guys are going to be best friends.
I know.
I know, we're gonna be like texting later, be like, don't you feel crazy?
Should
So
be self-deprecating all the time.
no, we make show it like love, like, well, you're awesome, well, you're awesome. But anyway, so Tamarack, and then Hoot and How in Morgantown.
Okay, I thought you were there.
Yeah, I love Stephanie. I love
my
that
God,
shop.
Isn't she amazing?
She's so awesome. I had the art walk yesterday.
I saw that you were set up there.
Yeah, and people are so nice in Morgantown. Like, I was kind of scared because it's like in the Main Street area of Morgantown, but people were so nice. And then I am in Santangelo in Thomas, West Virginia.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's a new-ish gallery right on that strip in Thomas. It's like one of the first ones you go to. It is such a cool location. They've really catered like a lot of like local potters in there. And do you know the artist Seth Pitt, who does those like drawings and Nellie Rose textiles?
No.
Well, they are the ones that curate that gallery. They're also really awesome local artists. And then I'm at Farmhouse Cafe in Morgantown. I have a few West Virginia pieces in there. And man, I feel like I'm forgetting a few of them. Oh, Art Smith's in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh.
Man, you are just everywhere.
I'm crazy. Yeah, it's like people are like, oh,
Like,
you're
you're stressing me out.
Dude, I feel like my business is still in the infancy, but like I play it off well because I just say yes to everything. I don't sleep. Yeah.
That makes people successful, though.
Yeah.
You're never sleeping. Doing the grind.
I like sleeping though, but it's hard to sleep. But I think I'm missing some, but they're all listed on my website. I just can't think of all of them on the top of my head.
Visit her website.
Yeah, I worked really hard on it. I did it myself. It's a really good website. No one looks at it. I look at the analytics and like only a couple hits a day. I only get like 10 hits a day, and I'm like, look at it.
It's hard to get a website going.
It is. I feel like the culture now is all like, I try to treat my social medias as a website, giving all the information there because I see that a majority of my audience is on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's on social media.
Yeah, but I do like to have the website available for those because a lot of my clientele, they're older and they don't have social media. So I do like having a very clean website that they could look at too.
Yeah. Easy to navigate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your favorite thing to make? Like, what's your favorite type of pottery? What's your favorite way to do it? Like, your favorite way you decorate them?
I love teapots
Oh,
so
that's so
much.
cool.
I love
teapots.
making teapots. And I don't get to make them enough because they're a hard sell.
Yeah.
Because they're very intricate. I have to price them a
And they're
certain way.
bigger,
They're
yeah.
bigger, and people are like, can I actually drink tea out of this? I'm like, yeah, but no one ever does. But teapots, I just adore making them. I think it's because they're challenging, and whenever it finally comes out of the kiln right, it just feels so good, like you accomplished something great. And whenever I was in college, I was known as the teapot girl because I had my whole senior show was teapots, and then I had a show with the Tamarack Foundation, and that was all teapots. So it was just really cool.
It's really impressive that you're in Tamarack.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamarack's like the best of the best in the state.
You're elite.
Yeah. That's
Now I feel awkward because like
she's like, no, I'm a fraud.
my mom thinks I'm good.
But no, that is impressive because it is the best of the best in the state. Like, they don't just accept anybody.
Yeah, so I applied for it before. It was like a soft critique, and I got rejected the first time just because I was still in college. And then I tried again just because they were like, do you want to try again? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? And I did. And when I was accepted by the juror, which was Jennifer Allen, who was like my Beyonce of ceramics, the fact that she said, oh, you're in Tamarack, I'm like, you're my queen. And you said I was good. So I went in my car and I just started like did happy crying. I was like, she let me into Tamarack. So that was really cool.
It's awesome. That's a great moment.
Yeah.
It
I
was a
cry in
great
my
moment.
car a lot too, but not out of happiness. I've never
It's because he's drinking coffee out of his hand.
He can't drive. He's like swerving because he's trying to hold coffee.
It's hard to eat cereal while you're driving too.
Oh, God.
I've done that before, but I had a mug.
I don't have
And he's just eating it out of his hands.
out of the cup holder. It's fine.
All right. So, Facebook, Hannah's Clay Creations. Instagram at Hannah's Clay Creations.
And then the website, hannahsclaycreations.com.
Yeah.
So I was able to get all of those handles. I actually had to email someone, be like, hey, I feel like a jerk because there was Hannah's Clay Creations already on Facebook. And I saw that they weren't active for 3 years, and I felt awkward being like, hey, I respect your business, but you haven't been doing much in a while. So,
Can I have it?
Yeah, and she's like, oh, it's fine. And I got it. So that was really good.
That's good.
I just wanted everything to be clean.
Right, yeah.
It's going to be difficult to change all that to Hannah's Yeeted Pottery.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has that name, though.
I
So
was
it'd probably
gonna
be
say,
it'd be
you
a
might have
If I s- my phone's
monopoly on
off,
that
but-
domain name, though.
When I get home, I'm going to check if there's a Hannah Yeeted Pottery.
All right, so you can find her at hannahsyeatedpottery.com.
No, but for now, it's Hannah's Clay Creations. But
Hannah's Clay
soon,
Creations.
Hannah Yeeted Pottery.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Are we
Is there
done?
anything else you'd like to add, or have we covered everything?
I think I feel okay. We're
Yeah?
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Cuts